everybody. College football playoffs spinning up a little bit of controversy. Among other things, Florida State being left on the sidelines. Here to talk about that, WLOX sports anchor Matt DeGregorio. Matt, okay, so you've got Michigan, Washington, Texas, and
Alabama.
No Florida State in there?
No Florida State, Dave.
Wow, what happened?
Right, that's very interesting. So apparently you wanted to get the best 4 teams in. That's what we wanted when this whole thing. We wanted to get rid of the BCS, no more computer garbage. We want the human element of it, right? So you want the 4 best teams in. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get these problems. You have 5 Power 5 conferences. If you are given 5 Power 5 conferences and only 4 spots, where do you put the extra conference champion? And this year, it finally came up and crept in. You had Cincinnati from the American in there a few years back, but this year especially, and it's so ironic that we're going into the 12-team playoff next year. It's so ironic that it happened the year before because Florida State, they earned it. Yeah, I would say 13-0. You can't do anything more than that. But if you're getting the 4 best teams in right now, I mean, you look at their depleted roster.
Well, wait a second, though. If you're going to put the 4 best teams in, wouldn't you put Georgia ahead of Texas?
That is where I agree with you. I actually would put Georgia in there as well because I believe full-heartedly Georgia is one of the 4 best teams in the country. There's no doubt about it. Kirby Smart has every gripe in the world. If Alabama and Georgia play that SEC championship 10 times, Georgia might win 6.
Yeah.
So there's a real gripe to have there. As for Florida State, Dave, and I'll throw this back to you, if Deion Sanders was the head coach of Florida State, do you think a 13-0 Deion Sanders-led Florida State team gets in?
Well, that's a complete hypothetical.
But I'm just going to say, but that's what we're looking at here. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at the personnel involved. We're no longer looking at the whole body of work. We're literally looking at the quarterback, who is hurt. We're not looking at how Florida State has maybe the top defense in the country, maybe one of the best running backs in Trey Benson. We're looking at Mike Norvell's leading this team with a 3rd-string quarterback. It would be Tate Rodemaker 2nd.
Well, I believe Alabama is one of the 4 best
I do too.
teams.
I do too.
And here's the irony of that. You know who's really groaning? Michigan.
Yes.
Because Michigan finds out they have to play Alabama in the semifinal. They'd rather play Washington or Texas.
Absolutely. And that game, I think that's got to be the game. I mean, that might decide the national championship, the Alabama-Michigan game. It's a shame that we're getting that in the semifinal, but at least we're getting it, right? We don't have to watch Michigan go and blow out Florida State. It's going to be really telling to see what happens between that Florida State-Georgia game. I don't know if they'll care. But yeah, Michigan, Alabama, you can't. Those are 2 storied programs. You want that.
Let's go ahead and shift gears. The Saints later this afternoon, Carolina, the worst team in the league. So the Saints should get a win there.
Well.
But you were over at New Orleans this week. What was the mood? What were they saying?
Vibes were high. The morale was high. I talked one-on-one with Tyrann Mathieu. I talked with Jamal Williams. But I talked with a lot of guys off record who really believe this team. They're still talking Super Bowl. They're saying soupy. That's a crazy term right now at 5-7. But it's what it is. And that's the reality of things. They believe that this group still can get the job done. And like I said, we came on here. I predicted them to win the NFC. This is a group that has the ability to do so. Now, Dave, they
can't beat San Francisco or Philadelphia or Dallas.
If they're healthy and Derek Carr, it needs a lot to happen, and I agree with you. It sounds crazy right now, but talking with these guys, seeing them on the daily basis, they really do believe that they're in position. You got to look at it. They've only lost to teams that are really good by 1 possession. Most of their games, other than 2, have been 1-possession ball games. So they're there.
Here's what kills me. Saints fans, I saw on social media, just tank the season and get a higher draft pick.
Don't give me that.
Come on, you're 1 game behind a bad Atlanta team.
And you control your own destiny still.
And you can get a home game in the first round of the playoffs.
Oh my gosh, it's so frustrating. Granted, it might end up being Dallas or Philadelphia, but who cares? You want a chance, and you can still get it. Who are you going to get? Jaden Daniels, great, but you are stuck with Derek Carr right now. $150 million, 100 of which is guaranteed for the next 4 years. That's an insane number. So what, you're going to play your rookie quarterback over him and just have your $150 million quarterback? And by the way, your $1 million plus backup quarterback still waiting in the wings? I don't think so. So it's a real issue that I've had right now with that ideology.
Just win.
Just win. And they believe that they can, Dave. They believe that they can, and that makes me in turn believe that they can because there's guys in the locker room who have won Super Bowls, won championships, who know what it takes, and those are the voices right now that I'm hearing that are saying, don't give up on this team. This team has been through a lot, and they can still do it. Look at the Seattle Seahawks years ago. They went in, got in as the 6th seed there, which at that time was the last seed, and they made that run to try to get to that Lombardi. The Saints could do something similar, and they also get that home playoff game if they win that division.
Yeah, I mean, even if they're 9-8, they're going to get, if they win the division, a home game.
Yeah, and that's critical.
That first round.
It's critical.
All righty, well, it remains remains to be seen. They should take care of Carolina pretty easily.
Well, this is also something.
Seconds.
Carolina has fired their head coach. Frank Reich is no longer their head coach. They have new offense in charge. The rushing that you'll see today from Carolina with Chuba Hubbard is going to be, it's going to be a factor. So you got to watch the run game versus the Saints front seven.
Okay, I'm picking the Saints, though.
Yep, I do too.
All righty. Matt, always good to see you, brother,
See you,
and thanks for
Appreciate
being
it.
with us.
Yeah.
And thanks for watching. I'll see you back here next Sunday morning, everyone.